chat. It was good to meet you all.
Of course, man.
All the
Take care.
best.
Thank you very much. Take care. You're
Pleasure. Righty. We've left them. I'm sorry if anybody in chat had any more questions that you guys wanted to ask, but I want to start looking to see if I can find the other games, because I would very much like to find to make a start on them. Hypnos has grabbed them. He's a good lad. Problem is I could really do with the... I'm saying I could do with the draft, but actually it's there, isn't it? I can just get it. Go on then, I can just get it. Oh, I have got the hiccups. Something rotten. Pangea chat. Map draft. And I want to leave the game. And I want you to end up there. And it's a completely different kind of spread, isn't it? Immediately different. And a Civ selection right there as well. Why not, eh? And let me very, very quickly, now that I've been center rec, let me throw that in my save games folder. Where's my save? There we go. In my save game folder. And we can go. We can get going. So this is the first of the Emerald League. So we watched our lower right there. Now we should be hopping into Emerald. But before we do, let me change the team names. What are the team names, Hypnos? Have you got them rocking and raring to hand? And I guess we should also change the title of the stream. Unless you're way ahead of me and you've already done it. Have we got... He's done it already! Gah! It's GdR boys. Versus... DarkSide. How edgy. Well, fantastic. What do we look at first before we hop into the games? Okay, well, maps: Atacama, African Clearing, Chaos Pit, and Socotra, and an admin pick of Hideout. So we start on Hideout. We've got Hindustanis, Shu, Gujaras, Magyars, Vietnamese, Malay, Sicilians, and Armenians facing up against Dravidians, Spanish, Khmer, Koreans, Portuguese, Franks, Malians, and Turks. So, yeah. I obviously love Team GdR. This is draft. I mean, I like them as people too. I'm sure they're lovely. But, you know, Malians are my favourite in the whole wildest world. And I think for some of the maps, I think their selection of civs is pretty good as well. Again, I don't know how good the Chinese civs are because I haven't played them at all. And I know loads of people are using them. I just don't get them yet. I don't get the rocket car. I don't understand the units. And I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to learn. I'm being stubborn. So I'm still not there with them just yet. However, I tell you where I am with things, though. I am with things in game number 1 of DarkSide versus the GdR boys. Welcome. We are on Hideout, and it is The Spanish and the Koreans facing up against the Hindustanis and the Shu. The Shu. Well, I don't know how well the Shu will perform here. I don't even know what units they have. Like, what? They're an archer and siege civilization. They don't have any forgings. They get championed, but no forge means that their infantry is ass, and I don't care. I'm not interested. They're a siege civilization, but they don't get siege onagers, but they do get the weird traction trebuchets. Additional HP for Spearman line. And I guess they've got the unique unit of the White Feather Guards. So that's like the spear unit that does a bit of gold. Siege weapons and siege warships move a bit faster. And archery range and blacksmiths are 25% cheaper. Okay, for technologies. Lumberjacks generate food, but, I mean, does that even really matter? I don't know what the war chariots do. And they can create Liu Bei. How exciting. So we're learning things together, everybody. We're learning things together. Unlike the Hindustanis, I know what the Hindustanis do. They have fantastic camels, which can be particularly good against the Spanish. However, they're on the opposite side of the map. How do Spanish fare against the Shu? Probably okay. What is the... I mean, I guess we can just go Elite Skirm, right? I guess that's a perfectly viable choice. The game sounds seem non-existent. Hold on. And also, let's get the headset off. I don't need that on. Why is game sound so quiet? We don't want to be playing in absolute silence. Let's just whack that up. Let's whack that up. We deserve some game sounds in our lives. Right, I'll make it even louder. There we go. There we go. That's something. That is something. Maybe that was what he was saying earlier. He was like, I can't hear any of the game sounds when he was saying to turn my volume up. I thought he meant my mic volume. I was like, no, that's definitely loud enough. I'm loud as all heck. Okay, Mark Landers. So some of these players are pretty high rated, right? Mark Landers, we've got two 1600 pluses, DarkSides. We've got a nearly 1700 in Danny Achari. And Novak is our lower rated player at 1490. So 1500 and 1700-ish against a 1650 and a 1700-ish. So, yeah, to be respected. These guys are pretty solid, all things considered. Oh, maybe I've made the desktop volume. I've made it too loud now. I made it too loud. Not, don't want the. As soon as the attack sounds start happening, we'll be brutalized. Thank you for following Novak. So, a relatively uninspiring town in Fallout New Vegas. Novak. I think you pick up Boone there, don't you? Yeah. So, oh, hold on. I've got a message. From my best beloved, who is on her way home. Well, that's nice. We're already home, and we are home and dry, as we are waiting for one of these teams to win their first game in their first set of our new tournament. Our Pangea 2v2 Pangea tournament. Sansol, if you're still around in chat, what inspired Pangea as the name? Like, what made Pangea the choice? Is it because it was sort of all like an all-encompassing thing, or just it sounded cool? We just want to know. Just. Feudal Age going to land in first for Mark Landers, but what's his plan? We've got barracks coming down, and that will finish very shortly after we arrive in Feudal Age. 1 on gold. Doesn't necessarily look like we're going for much in the way of early pressure. Scout is forward, keeping an eye out, and we go for archery range. So it's a message of union, I see. I mean, I know that the Pangea was one continent, but, like, I didn't know what your messaging was for it. One planet, one people. One big ocean, dudes. One big ocean. So we're going immediate double archery range out of the Koreans, who are going to be putting a little bit of pressure here. 2 on gold already. So what's the plan? What's the vibe? 12 seconds of TC idle time out of the chute. Archery range on the way down as well. Scouts for the Spanish. And already trying to put a tiny smidge of pressure as we are going for a stable from the Hindustanis, which I think they'll be happy for. I thought they were sending the archers forward, but they are not. We are just going for that mass up. Still not quite enough archers on gold just yet. It's not often that you get to see a double archery range these days, so that's always nice. As some pressure does begin. Are we making any stable units? No, not really. In fact, this is maybe not the smoothest start here for Danny. I guess we've got plenty of food in the bank. It's like, are we debating about... I think we're just trying to hold off, right? We're going to try and wall up and just castle. And the archers are so far away, we probably even see them. We probably even see... No, I think we missed them. But we know that some kind of pressure's on the way in as we immediately send Vils out to Stonewall, and I am assuming that we're going to try and click up to Castle Age in like a second. Oh, we are so close. Castle Age on the way in for Danny. But we don't break through the stone walls. Oh, we go over this way, and this will be the easiest part for them to wall up. So, we definitely don't... I don't think we break in over here. I don't. But it is going to be hard to keep the archers out. Fletching is in already, but the stone walls are finished. Danny Churi's defence, so far, so good. Which does mean that we are completely unmolested over on this left-hand side, and there is nothing really at home in defence. We are building up some double walls, and I guess we can just wall here, and that is the plan. And do a sort of tight internal wall. Not too bad. Okay, over on, back to where the pressure's coming in. It looks like he's whacking his friend. But it's not. It's more stone walls. And a house wall. So, yeah, no breakthrough here. No breakthrough at all. And with Feudal Age fights... I haven't even twigged how walled off that was on that side. We are groovy, changing tact and going and attacking blue, though. Blue kept the army at home, didn't move forward. And has the archer mass. So, yeah, we should be perfectly happy here. It's like, okay, can't do any damage. And, oh, army's trapped. Army's trapped. Bloodlines on the way in for Danny, who is immediately starting to pump out some camel riders. Castle Age is a fight that we're going to be happy taking, because obviously you hit Castle Age and the scout just gets that much better, right? Is that, you know? As the extra HP means that we win that every day of the week, and there's not really a fat lot that we can do. Where's the archer mass? It's here. What? Mass in air quotes. 5 of them. Still, they'll do okay against the camel riders. Scouts. As long as we are patrolling around, making sure that the archers don't go forward. Castle Age on the way in for Novak. So we're both going to be in Castle Age long before our opponents. Danny Churi and Novak. They're going to be Castle Bros. How about for the Spanish? How are we doing? I mean, our eco's looking pretty good. Are we even close to clicking up? We're doing a bit of market abuse, so soon. But it is way, way longer. And I guess we're just patrolling, just to make sure that the archers don't come through. Yeah. Yeah, we are. Camels are out. Guy, if the archers... If the army of archers were grouped up, they'd win this fight. But as it stands... Only 5 archers is not a threat to 3 camels, it turns out. So, yeah, those archers die without achieving anything. Castle Age on the way in for Marklanders. And we are keeping an eye out on these crossbows. And knowing where they are is really, really important. Hello, darling. Do you want me to let you out? Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm letting my cat out. She's being quite clear. She was pawing at the door, and then after she pawed at the door for a bit and I ignored her, she came over and stared at me like, oi. Oi. Let me out. Why are you ignoring me? Yeah. I will end you in your sleep. And you don't ignore that. I want to wake up in the morning. It's just a fact. Crossbow, Bodkin on the way in for Novak. Archers are a threat, and we know it. Scout cavalry, not really able to do anything to this army. It's I would describe that as a hard counter. I would definitely describe that as a hard counter. So we are walled off. But with the amount of crossbows, we should still be able to get in. And it's only palisades. It's only palisades. We didn't stone wall at the back of this. Did we sell our stone? We didn't. Okay. Well, selling this, not stonewalling, is a mistake here. Because I'm pretty sure we get in. Because you can't outwall the crossbows. And in we pop. More damage. Oh dear. McDeck not having the best of times. House walls are good. Immediate siege workshop necessary. With so many vills, we cannot lose access to gold. We could still beeline past it. Like, because we can just dodge in here, chill there for a little bit, and then dodge round. Quick walls. Quick walls are good. Quick walls are good. Okay. The reaction was strong. We kill a few vills, but we're going to lose quite a lot of crossbows. Mangonel will pop out as well. Not a great fight for the camels under the TC fire. Their pierce armor is kind of ass. But they do spot out the Mangonel. They know it's there. Do we lose the entire army to it? Over on the other side. Stopped. Marklanders doesn't manage to land anything. It's the stone walling means that we are completely unchecked. I really like the defense out of Danny. Can I increase my volume? It's quite low. I can see myself peeking into the red on OBS. So what I could do is I can lower the game sound. I can do that. I can lower the game sound if you feel like there needs to be a better balance, but by it peeking into the red, I feel like I'm kind of loud. But I'll trust you. I'll trust you, Mihail. As it stands. The positions are fine. We managed to defend okay. We had a bit of damage there. 17 vills lost. Does put us quite a bit behind. What I don't know is where we're gonna go from here. Stonewalling off to try and, I guess, get a bit of time. I was kind of expecting this game to go long, especially with hideout. If we're able to wall off the sides, it can be really, really hard to push. And with Koreans as well, if we're like building towers all over the darn shop. That could be particularly painful. At the moment, nothing in defence. Mangonel on the way out. It's a big army. Will the Mangonel pop out in time before we lose too many? Novak comes over to play defence. What's our army count like? 24 archers against 27, but with the backup of the camels, that might be enough to, like, play support. With the hill, though, not so good. There we go. Siege Workshop pumps out the first of the Mangonels. Over on the other side, Knights try and put a bit of pressure on, and there are no archers to, like, crossbows to play defence here. Mangonel coming to search. It's an uphill fight, which obviously we don't necessarily want to be fighting, but the Mangonel can get some decent shots off, maybe. Maybe. Yes, first shot, decent. Half HP on a third of those crossbows immediately. This ends up being a fight that we can most assuredly win. Certainly with the chase down. All it needs is one big mango shot. And there we go. It's a clear up. It's a total clear up. Really nice. That's about as good as that engagement could have gone. We do lose all the camels, but it means that the archer mass is now so much better for Novak, who just pops and clears the rest of that up. Knights don't manage to get in over on this side. The house walling has been good. Do we accidentally walk our Mangonel into TC fire? Not quite. So we are a little bit aware. You want to just finish off the last bit of palisade and try and put some pressure? Or do the archers come back? Well, crossbows on the way home. We are just trying to boom, I guess. Do a bit of boomage for Danny. 3 TCs on the way down. Well, thank you for raiding the Novak. You'd never be able to tell he was playing today, could you? Would you? Could you? Could you? No bits notification. Well, it doesn't seem like the alert box is working, but there's not much I can do about that now. It's a clear up, but we're fine. Stone walled up, so very, very hard to push through here. Though, I will say, it's only one tree. That's just one little tiny tree. And he knows it, this stream sniper. He's aware. He sees that it's one tree. Macday, how dare he? How dare he be watching the stream? He could tell, immediately going over to wall that up. Cheaters, man. Cheaters. How dare they? Imp on the way in for Mark Landers. Playing as the Koreans. Knights looping around to help put some pressure on. They spot out the castle. That can be denied. There's a hole. It's open. You can just go in. Well, it's blocked off. The defensive units are in place. Mangonel managed to get a decent hit off onto the crossbows again, and that castle is not denied. It's not denied at all. It will finish in the corner. I'm not entirely sure why this is the position that we decide to build the castle, but there we go. It's still fine. It goes up. It pushes back the army of Mark Landers and does quite a bit of damage at the same time. So, this is a game that now needs to go kind of late for the Spanish and the Koreans to get a decent advantage again. For the rest of Castle Age, it's going to be very, very hard now that we keep losing our crossbow mass for Mark Landers and MacDeck to do much in the way of damage to DarkSide. Certainly with Hindustani camels in play and a big mass of crossbows for Novak. Though, are they close to clicking up? Yes, they are. I mean, Novak's already up, and we have a decent eco, but it's going to take a little bit of time for Danny. I guess he has been producing units that definitely cost some food. 3 TC production as well for Danny Churi, so 78 vills. So still not as many as Mark Landers. booming away on 3 TCs as the third TC just finishes. We went forward to grab a relic as well, so that's coming in, which is nice. But it's going to be a little bit of catch up. If this does go late though, if we do manage to get ourselves into a position where Spanish trade starts to be viable, and maybe we're locking the map off with like guard towers and that kind of thing, rocket carts, whatever they're called, the Koreans are rocking now, that could change things up a little bit. First, to get out some trebs will also be really handy. And we know we are vulnerable over here as the Cat Ram is on its way. There are only regular stone walls as well. Ragiunto eta Imperiale. I have no idea what language that is. And whatever it was, I definitely butchered it. So we don't even finish off the stone walls. We are guaranteed for this little army to break through. Over on this right-hand side, we are putting some pressure. First of the trebs will be popping out of this castle right now. Imp on the way in for Danny. Capram and Arb is a big threat for the Spanish. Spanish have no answer to that right now. Congrats on your 1 bit. Congrats on your other bit. I think you need a. I think you need a bit blocker. It's got to be a minimum bit donation. Like one bit cannot just be the thing that you have flooding the chat. Okay, well, Arbs and Catram starting to put the pressure on. Mangonels probably not enough to play defense here because the Arbs should outrange them. Mangonel hits won't even kill a single Arbalest. We'd need to be repairing quite heartily to be in with a chance over here. Second castle on the way down, putting that pressure on. We're trying to make some Gulam, which would be great en masse against the Korean Arbs. Not that Arbalest is even in yet, which is wild. I guess we didn't quite have the res for it. We're going for conscription first instead, and we have got all of our so bracer and ring archer armor upgrade instead. Aggressive castle, going for a defensive castle, but that might be tough because we don't really have much of an answer to the battering ram. Oh, wait, I thought it was cat rams, but it's only battering rams? Oh, yeah, okay, no, this is fine. I thought that was a whole different unit. If only it was cat ram. If only. 3 trebs starting to batter down on Danny Churi's castle. As the first of the defensive trebs were lined up, but we've given up on it. Instead, we're trying to get conscription first for, I guess, speedy production of stuff. Chemistry, so we'll try and go for a bombard cannon defense, which is probably a good shout, because we're so far behind in treb production, we're never really going to be able to compete that way. So, see if we can hope that we can get conscription finished, but it doesn't come in time. Arbalest come forward, they'll pick off the trebuchet. We are starting to make war wagons. Over on this side, though, the push through of the Arbs is effectively untouched, and we are stuck perma in Castle Age, and the Arbalests are gonna shred through. There is no response out of the Spanish, like at all. Like, what can we do? 91 villagers. We've only got 6 military on the field. He's got to be screaming out for help as Skirmisher is being spam made over on this northern side to try and add a little bit of alliance in, some support. All the while Mark Landers is pushing heavy on his own into the base of Danny Churi. So it's a bit of a, base swap, but it's an ally swap. But over on the right-hand side, there is no support. They were completely focused on trying to get the trade in, making sure that they killed off Macdek first. But with the skirms in play, we are doing okay, and the Mangonels are defending fine. as the army comes forth. There is not enough Ghulams and no castle to help them get up to their numbers. And it's not like Camel Rider is going to be a threat against an Arb Civ. Not really. Did we even manage to get a single bombard out? No, because we're housed. Oh, they're in the damn hell. Bombards denied. Camels trying to get a dive in. But it's Arbalest. They'll shred through them. Skirmisher over on this northern side has cleared up all of the army that was putting pressure on Macdek. Macdek clicks to Imp. And we are prepping some masonry as well to just delay our semi-inevitable death. TC will go down and position is kind of dropping out faster for our poor team DarkSide, who were looking so good. The defense was great, their timings to castle was great, but they didn't manage to achieve a huge amount of pressure into the bases of the GdR boys. Timing of the defense of the ally was good for red. My. Where do we go from here other than to type out GG? Down to 1 TC, 75 Vils. We're housed permanently. We can't make any military. We're trying to get a light cav upgrade. We're like, I did so much damage to blue and he's in Castle Age. But as soon as you see that he's an imp, you go, maybe we didn't do enough. I don't think they did. There's still 100 Vils. Quietly 100 Vils crammed into a pretty small amount of space here for poor Yellow, who will be happy that he hits imp. And I think it's an imp into GG kind of moment. Because green is dead. 55 Vils, 2 military on the field. Arbalest, not great counter to war wagons. As we just start steamrolling through the remainder of the base, we're trying to get some light cav out. But we don't even have any food in the bank, so it's like, what's light cav going to do? Really, we'll get a few out, but it won't clear up this army. And everything is dead and cleared. It's a great game number 1 out of the GdR boys, who will... It's 100%. I'm sorry, it's 100% from here. If they manage to lose from this position, it would be one of the biggest comebacks I would ever see. You don't often have much in the way of hope when it's 41 eco for one of your players and only 2 military, and there's only 88 for... Like, it's 128 Vils to 238. Got 48 military on the field, but most of that is Skirmisher and Hussar. And that's kind of it. Everything cleared up over on this north side. Everything being cleared up over on this right side. Skirmisher will not be enough to clear this. No sir-ee, as all of the Vils are running back. Oh, and Jess is making me pasta. That's fantastic. Love me some pasta. Okay, so Cavalier, Husbandry, 3rd armor upgrade on the way in. Skirmishers fighting against Trebs. Trebs and elite war wagons. I will say I do like the new elite war wagon. Like, even though it's not the I think that looks pretty cool. The little spikes on the top, like the old turtle ships. The horses have a little bit of armor. You know, it makes them look extra threatening. Got some spikeage on the go. So then, you know, that's fair. That's fair. That works. That works. Bit of handsome war wagons. No rocket carts though. Where's our rocket carts at? Clearly, Mark Landers is not a rocket cart enjoyer. As we re-wall off, throwing some houses down, still not even bothered with trade. No, it doesn't matter as Cavalier comes rolling through, and they are stubbornly staying in this game when it is well over. Well over, considering we control 3 corners, right? We control... You don't lose the game after you control 3 corners. You don't. There we go. Castle, last of the castles is down. They finally call the GG. Almost out of surprise. Maybe they were talking strategy for game number 2. But this one goes in favour of the GdR boys. God, I miss having hotkeys. That would be nice. That'd be lovely. Well. Okay, so that is a win with Koreans and a win with Spanish. Beating out the Shu and the Hindustanis on our first map of Hideout, which was a loss for Team Danny Churi. So we should be heading to a home map of either Atacama or African Clearing. What that will be, I don't know. Let me put the file in. I'm gonna put the file in. And we shall find out. Thank you, Hypnos, for sending it through to me. It's African Clearing. Malians. This is a Malian map. This is where the Malians would like to be. And they will be. Game number 2 is afoot of DarkSide versus the GdR boys. We have Danny Shari playing as the Magyars, paired up with a teammate on the opposite side of the map. So they won't be doing much in the way of team play in this game. Certainly not in the early part, that's for sure. In the Novak. And how about our other team? It's GdR Marklanders and GdR Macdec 2, the second, playing as the Portuguese and the Malians. Portuguese is an interesting pick. I can't say I've seen a lot of Portuguese as an African Clearing pick, especially when, like, what other civs did they have that they could go for? Because we had Turks, Khmer, Franks, Dravidians. Okay, I mean, I guess. Maybe they had a plan. Maybe they've got a specific plan for Portuguese on this. It's not their home map, though, so they've got a vibe for it. Everybody's pings. TCs are up first for Novak and Danny Shuri. However, Marklanders and Macdec are close to each other, and can we see the difference, right? I know people were like, look, see, going for the TC on the woodline is fine. These are our more experienced players, and look where they went with their starting TCs. Immediately making sure that their TC is on some fish, and preferably near an additional resource. So every single one of them has put themselves near an additional resource wherever they could and on fish. So you can't complain. You'd hope it wasn't necessarily stone if you weren't wanting to go for a stone civ. Like, Portuguese would be much happier with stone than gold. And in fact, if anything, the Portuguese position is probably the one slightly worse off. However, it's all groovy, man. It's all groovy. They know what they're doing. Nobody's completely surprised by African Clearing in this matchup. So, TC's slightly earlier for our DarkSide squad. And that is showing it's 13 vils to 11, or 11.5. So a mild advantage. Nobody with any significant TC idle time just yet. And how much easier it gets when the TC trick isn't even like something hard anymore that you can just hop in. You can just hop in. So, Portuguese Malians against Vietnamese Magyars. I mean, that can be a pretty tough matchup. Especially if Vietnamese have a really nice eco rolling. If they're able to go for elephants, that's something that both the Malians and the Portuguese might struggle against. If we get that far, we're more likely to see leanings more into the archer line. And as much as I would be like, oh, well, all we need to see have happen is for the Malian player to go full Castle Age longswords, and then they'll win because they'll clap everything over here with Castle Age longswords. I highly doubt that that's what we'll go for. I'm still expecting a more cav-based play. So that's sad. There we go. Everybody moves out, puts a lumber camp on the wood lines, like is good and proper. Good and proper. It's interesting because, like, Nomad, like a standard Nomad game, you put your TC on a wood line every damn time. But African clearing, just by the benefit of, like, shorefish and the fact that you can't make docks to make fishing ships, it's just not worth it. You get more value from grabbing shorefish whenever you can and making sure that you're as close as possible to additional hunt so you can pull in rhinos easier, that kind of thing. Maybe have access to hunt. If your TC's up against here, you're so far away from anything that you might actually want that it gets a little harder. Ooh, Danny, no! Danny Achari loses a Vil to a Rhino. Loom was not fast enough. He tried to get that Loom. He tried to save that villager, but no. The butt cheeks, they fade into the rubble to try and hide his shame. Even with the Vil dying, though, Magyars are the first on the way to feudal age. Feels bad for Danny. Feels bad for Danny. Loom on the way in for Mark Lounders. And feudal age immediately behind it. So there we go. Next, with a pretty casual wall up over on this side. Again, this is kind of, as I was saying in the last game, this is kind of what I like to see. You're walling in, you're making sure you've got some safe area. It's probably less important to wall this up, if I'm being completely honest, because we already have our gold secured by the TC, and the only other safe res is the stone. So we're not really gaining a huge amount by doing this kind of walling when we could just wall around our wood line. But this is fine. I guess it secures us some farming space. And any walls are better than no walls. So there's that. Here we go. Again, I love to see the way that you can wall off from the wood line towards the TC kind of stops a certain amount of early aggression. And if we wall here and we wall here, we've got a safe gold as well. So we've got safe gold, we've got safe wood line, we've got safe stone. It's good walling, planning, and it's good positioning. I like it. Over on this side, we're not really bothering, but I guess like by doing walls that we wouldn't gain anything because the gold is forward and the gold is too far to the side. So we're gonna have to wall sort of around there, and that's kind of hard to do big and long, so it's better to go aggressive, which is what we're doing with the scouts going forward. Scouts also being prepped by Mark Landers. Blue finishes. What will Novak go for? Barracks finishes. What's the plan? What's the leaning? Vil go. So it's archers. A little bit of feudal archer play, and we've quick walled. We've preparatory walled in preparation. Our shorefish fishers in, which is nice, and we've small walled our wood line. Almost blocked off by the relic, which that would have been irritating for them, wouldn't it? A blacksmith market, big, dirty, filthy walls, and it does not help. It does not help if your ally doesn't like. It's almost like we're team walling, right? Like we've team walled, but we've team walled and our ally hasn't, which means that our wood line is back at home exposed, which means all of our fishers are exposed as well. There's no point in a team wall if your ally doesn't, team wall. But c'est la vie, we spot out some houses. They've got to know where they are though. So where's green going? To try and pick off the scouts? Why? We're safe. Fletching's on the way in. What's the point of chasing down the scouts? We've got, like, it's only 2. 2 spears will deal with this. And they say, okay, we go forward. So maybe they're just combining forces. No defensive units at all. We didn't even bother finishing the wall up. We're going to lose some of our reinforcements if we're not careful. And Spear spots out the small army. So, scouts prepped. Archer numbers. Non-existent for green, yellow, but on the way to Castle Age. Green has a big mass of scouts. As archers should pick off all of the spears, which is good. It means that we can take a perfectly reasonable engagement here. If you're red, you just want to kind of run around, see if you can pick off any of the reinforcements of the archers while trying to take as little damage as possible. The other thing that we need to be doing is kind of walling off this section of our base so the scouts can't just dive in onto our ally before we have much in the way of defense. So what's the Malian plan? Looks like we're going for a castle, which is an interesting choice. We didn't manage to wall up. There are still gaps aplenty. And we are going for the castle. Defensive castle. Oh, God. And we can just stroll on in. We can just stroll on in. Will that castle even finish? Maybe. We have to take the engagement to try and delay, to just give enough time for the castle to go up. But the castle's not spotted, so we stay trying to put a little bit of pressure in, so the castle comes up and it's fine. We save ourselves. A little bit of preparatory walling. We're all good. GdR boys, they were in a very precarious spot, but the little bit of scout engagement that we forced there by Mark was good, actually. Really like what they managed to do there. And if they pick off some exposed units when they're not playing together, that could be extra damaging. So, Gebettos being prepped. Gepreppos. This is definitely not the build that they wanted to do with with the Malians. Not one bit. So what's the plan? Are we close to clicking up? No. So we're just trying to get out more scouts. Do we go for a second stable if we can? Maybe we're low on wood. No, we're not low on wood. So help our production, maybe? Still, it's a complete clear up there. But Gebettos are in decent numbers. Gebettos can micro this down. If there's enough of them. But there's only 4. Especially in choke points. Look at them, they're happy. What a fantastic unit. What a fantastic unit. So I think we stabilised 67 to 62 Vils. Castle Age on the way in for both Danny and Novak. So a mild advantage, I would say. Mark Lunders has had a little bit of pressure his way. And I think we're going to want to go out onto stone because Portuguese normally want to get a castle up of their own relatively swiftly. But maybe we're just going to go for knights? Maybe we're just going to go for knights, you know? Trying to put a little bit of pressure over onto this right-hand side. GdR boys. Like, I've got archers over here. To be honest, keep those archers alive until they can be crossbows, because as it stands, the Gebetto are going to be very, very threatening. And, even better, the Gebetto could find a little bit of damage. There's exposed villagers. There's an easy entrance. Gebettos will shred through a palisade gate like it's absolutely nothing. And spotting out the archers, if we can pick off reinforcements, that would be really nice. The lower the number of archers, the better. And some exposed vills. They try and wall them off, but they don't. It doesn't work. That's 2, 3, 4 dead vills. which is a nice quick grab, and they run away. They're so speedy. They're like raiding machines. Maybe this was the plan all along, and the gold is exposed as well. The walling was good against Castle Age units, but it ain't so good against Feudal Age units, but it ain't so good against the castle. Oh, no, no, no. Looking pretty threatening right now. Turns out Marlion's OP, man. And you get another breakdown. That's Morville's dead. Another one picked off. Crossbow finishes and Bodkin. So we can at least finally clear this up. Or at least push it back. Scouts putting pressure onto red. Castle Age is a little bit further away, but we have more stables down, and we're going to try and pump out some knights of our own, which is going to be really rough against the Magyars. We don't have the attack upgrades to be competitive right now. Vil numbers are closer than they have any right to be honest. I mean, I guess the damage onto blue has been good. Walls are nice and quick. Gabetto, always threatening. Gathretto. Second TC on the way down. On stone, on wood. That also kind of helps protect this area a little bit against potential easy raids. Crossbows will move forward and they will immediately just find a TC. So, yeah. Prep is good. Knights not really able to take much of an engagement against the Gabetto, who will pick off more of them. Oh god, they're so good. Marlians, man, they're just Gabetto are just they're throwing swordsmen. That's what they are. They are throwing swordsmen. I guess now we need some siege in the mix. Look at these walls, man. This doesn't do anything against Gabetto. So, Siege Workshop on the way in. And it will finish. It's a lot of exposed woodline units, but they are spotted. And we pull back, so the army is trapped. And it's not a particularly big army from green. In fact, if anything, I'd say that the advantage should still be with the Knights and Gabetto combo. Especially if they're not playing together. But the Knights dive in without support. If you get picked off. Oh, it's close. It's close. It's close. It's an even knight trade. And now it's Gabetto versus Crossbow. But the Crossbow don't have anywhere to run. The Gabetto come close and they are gonna shred. Micro was good though. Micro was good. They ended up with a better trade than they had any right to. But yeah, Gabetto. They're like, we can micro too. So it's a rough fight. Everybody loses most of their army. Additional TC of red is denied by a small number of knights. So 89 to 86. It's a bit of a balance back and forth. We thought that we'd managed to get a little bit of a window of success with the Gabetto, but with the army clear up, this levels this out again. And the Portuguese knights are actually doing perfectly reasonably right now. Numbers is better than upgrades. There you go. You can take that to the bank and keep it. The numbers for GdR boys slightly healthier. Just slightly. Certainly gives them the health advantage in the army fight. Still got lots of Gabetto. But still got lots of Crossbow. 18 on the field for DarkSide. Only 11 Gabetto. Not a fight that either one would be happy taking. It would be another Pyrrhic victory for no matter who wins the engagement. It's like, oh, it's not a ballistics fight there. So 7 versus 10 in the night fight. Scorpions to back up the Marlians. Yeah, spotted. What's the plan? Are we gonna send some siege in some way? No, it's just more knights. Gabetto will shred. That's another knight down. That's a knight that we really didn't want to go down as well. Though I will say, Novak's micro has been pretty good with the crossbows. Got about as much value out of each engagement as he possibly could. So, you know, they got that going for them, which is nice. However, what are they going to do against Gabetto and Scorpion? And Knights? Maybe if they get a little bit of a surround, maybe... Well, we lose the Scorpions. Or not. Or we just let the Scorpions stay alive and decide to take the engagement against the Knights. Okay. Ooh. Well, that's a clear up. Green loses everything. Green loses everything. The Scorpions stay alive, which puts massive pressure onto the crossbows. They're not able to take much of an engagement. And finally the Scorpions are mopped up, which means that we can't take the engagement against the crossbows because the knights and the crossbows are enough to push them back. So the back and forth continues. That was a fight that they should have won more convincingly had they immediately sent like 2 knights to deal with the Scorpions. Well. It's just a bit of posturing for now. Away they go. Defensive castle finally on the way in for the Portuguese, who have plenty on gold. 135 vils to 120, 22 military to 30 right now. We are 2 TCs for red, 3 TCs, 4th TC in fact coming up for MacDeck. Booming away, it's 2 TCs for Novak and 3 TCs for Danny Chowry. Nice for him. And I guess everybody's sort of like chilling out a bit. Taking the feet off the pedals. No, they all know that they can't really end the game before Imp, certainly with castles coming up. How close are people to Imp? Not at all. 37 on food and 33 on food will be a decent start though, so we won't be a million miles away. But the gold counts of everybody not looking particularly spicy. So yeah, it should be a while. Knights get in. Whoa, missed that. Missed that. Where was the gap? Where was the gap? Right here. They just sauntered right on in, like they were invited. Well, fair enough. They lay 2 farms. They kill 2 villagers. Blue has to tell Danny that it's happening. We garrison. There's not a... Oh, I'm saying there's not a huge amount exposed. There's 22 gold fills there. But I guess we don't actually know where their eco is. So these knights have left. Try and wall it off, but we're not able to because there's farms. Only 2 knights there, and we might find the gold. We might find the gold. Oh, we don't find the gold. Gives time to pull the gold vills away. No. Gives time for the defense, the knights to come in, and we luck out. Green loses knights to castle fire and Gabettos. It's a big Gabetto mass. And red tries to stream in some units over onto this right-hand side of Danny Chowry's base. Crossbows are in enough mass that Gabetto shouldn't really have much of a chance here, and they have to run, especially if we have ballistics in, which I'm sure we do. We have to. There it is. We have to. Okay, Scorpions coming in, playing defense. Imp on the way in for MacDeck. What's Mark going for now? Are we going to change tacts? Are we going to start moving into a unit line that we are happier with? Or do we just keep making knights? Is that the combo? Second castle on the way down on this right-hand side of MacDeck's base. And there is so much map control here for Novak and Danny Chowry. as Novak is also on the way to Imp. If he keeps Imp with this mass of ARBs, that's going to be very, very hard to deal with. We're probably... I was about to say, we're probably getting to the point where our eco should be good enough that we can consider an elephant transition, but no, it's not even close, is it? 71 vils? No, we need to be looking at like 115, 120 for that. And our number on food is not it yet. No. Elephant's not even a hint of a dream for Novak. Which, I don't know, maybe that's a little bit unfortunate, but whatever. Crossbows seem to be working for him. The mic is very wobbly. Like, very wobbly. I wish it was less wobbly, because I'd like it to be not, like, just basically just staying put. That would be very handy. Well, Knights and Scorpions do push us back. Oh, it's not. In fact, they're allied. They're allied. It's just the Knights were taking their sweet time to take the engagement. So, Imp lands in. What's the plan? What's the plan with Imp? It's more Gabetto. Is there any transition? What is Imp gaining us? Just conscription? I hate that. Like, what's the plan? What's the plan? We can't just go with 5 Gabetto and a Treb. That doesn't win us the game. Imp lands in for Novak, and that Imp will give us Arbalest. It will give us so much space to work with. I guess our eco is kind of hemmed in for MacDeck. But the fact that we've not put anything else other than Gabetto in, and there's no transition prepped, is... it's a little unfortunate here. Town Watch, Forging. Gotta give those Gabettos more damage. Chemistry, Bracer, Arbalest all finish right now for Novak, whose army is looking pretty spicy, as we are still trying to make more stables. So that Knight line is definitely what we are leaning into, which I think can be a little risky. Not like we can get Paladins. Right, like, it's, we're still kind of stuck on Cavalier and Magyars. Basically, anything that the Portuguese can do cav-wise, Magyars can do better. Is that something that we want to be going into long-term? Imp will land in at pretty similar times for both of them. Trebs. Trebs. Not even being a factor for green. I guess we're just... for blue, I mean, for Novak. We're just going to rely on the fact that we're gonna take out TCs with ARBs. Tough to do. Very tough to do. Ooh, do I like this fight? I don't think I do. I think green has enough. Red had more, but not enough. We're taking that fight before Imp lands. But Imp comes in for green first. It's a complete clear up of Red's army. So now what does Imp give Red? Right, so we can't even click Cavalier. There's no point. We've invested into our additional stables. So, like, where do we go here? Like, what do we make? They make nothing, and they know it, because with the loss of that army, the hope is gone. As game number 2 goes in favour of the DarkSide, boys. Oh dear. We've got another 3-game set. Home map secured. They played out really well. Separate side of the maps could have been really vulnerable, but no, they took great engagements. The micro was good. KD will have been perfectly reasonable for them. Yeah, always good if you can get nearly 2-to-1 KD with your archers. So lovely. I will say the Gabettos did fantastic for a while, but they fell off pretty hard when they didn't have support. And when there was no transition at the back of it. Imp didn't really give MacDeck anything. Unfortunate. So, we have a game number 3. Which means I'll need to find that one as well. I'll need to find that one as well. That's an African clearing win. So we should be going to either Chaos Pit or Socotra, and that was a win with Magyars and Vietnamese. Not a huge surprise, if we're being completely honest. I didn't expect Portuguese and Malians to win, but I do love Malians. They're just my favourite civ. And Hypnosis being an admin supreme, and has sent me game number 3. Fantastic. Thank you, Hypnos. Game number 3. Add to me save games. And we get to go to Chaos Pit. Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy, we get some chaos in our pits. Oh, baby. Fantastic. Well, Chaos Pits it is. Capture Age. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Welcome to game number 3 of DarkSide versus GdR boys. We have Mark Launders playing as the Dravidians, teamed up with his other GdR buddy in crime in Macdek, playing as the Khmer, facing up against DarkSide, Danny Chowry as the Sicilians, and the Armenians for Novak. Armenians. They get long swords in Feudal Age. I'm just saying. They do. They get two-handed swordsmen in Castle Age. I'm not saying that's what we're going to see. But it's true. And Hypnos is right. You are correct. There is no gold in the centre on Chaos Pit if you've never seen Chaos Pit before. You have to chop through 3 trees, as long as you know. So some people, they don't know, and they go and try and chop through in the sort of diagonal trees here. That's a mistake. You don't want to chop through these, because that means that you have to chop through more than 3, because you end up having to go through like many trees to chop through. So you always want to be going through the straight side, because then it's only 3. Right, so this bit, no, too many trees. This bit, yes, only 3. Doesn't take too long. So you can be through, like, really quite fast, as long as you're being cautious. So there you go. Bit of learning for you. Bit of learning. I'm getting Discord spammed. Where am I getting this? Oh, Edinburgh. We're going to a trendy restaurant. Cool. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Where do we lean? Do we prefer Khmer and Dravidians, or Armenians and Sicilians? I mean, Sicilians can do a great many tedious and irritating things. And Armenians are a little bit of a nuisance. And some of their infantry timings are truly phenomenal. And Armenians do have access to the mule cart, which means that they can just move, like we can take our nice, easy early gold and then move out comfortably. Though here we go, we moved out, we're already chopping wood, we're on our way to the outside. Nobody else is on their way out to the outside. Everybody else is taking straggler trees until they can move out with multiple vills. So that's a choice. I like Mark Landers beelining for the exit. He wants out. He wants access to that gold as fast as possible. Moves forward, and he is going to scout his opponent out. Loom in for pretty much everybody. One of the things that I find hardest is that it doesn't... Oh, no! Look, Do you remember what I said, everybody? Do you remember that bit? Well, I know it's relatively safe and secure in this back corner, but if he'd only walked to here, to this bit, he would be out in but a moment, but he went for the corner, and it will take him ages to get through. That is more than 3. It's more than 3. Even though it's only 3 diagonally, you can't walk diagonally, so you have to go. In fact, yeah, there's nowhere. You end up having to do 4. It takes longer because you always have to do at least 4. Not ideal. It's not the vibe. There you go. You can learn. Hey, darling.
Still going?
I'm still going. Thank you very much. I'll probably have to put this to the side for a little bit. Hey, only scrolls. Don John's up for Danny Chori. So who gets through first? I mean, it should be Mark Lunders if he's chopping correctly. But we can see he's not shift-clicked this. So Vil is chopping an outside tree, and it wants to be chopping the inside tree. You know, it wants to be getting this one so it can go through as fast as possible. But clearly they don't care about that. They want to put some pressure on, be a nuisance. Living life on the edge there, darling. Living life on the edge.
I'm not living life anywhere. I'm dead.
So stables. Archery range. So we're going for skirm defense. Or maybe skirm aggression. Not far off chopping through at all. Still not doing the efficient chopping. I thought for sure that we were going to be doing the efficient chopping. But we weren't necessarily keeping a solid eye on it. Over here, look at, see, it's going to take 10 years. 10 years to chop through. Nobody else with those problems. Spears. Archery ranges. Scout cavalry. It's about as passive as a chaos pit can be. Spear defense is good round the hunt. Not hunt. I mean, I guess it's hunt. There's hares. 65 food each hares. Practically not worth taking, but there we are. And the trash war continues. Market on the way down for blue and housed. Housed as well. Always unfortunate. As we are inching closer and closer to the chop through. Big scout fight. We don't even pick anything off though. A spear. Hello, Elendil. I tell you what's up. We're on game 3 of our second set of the day. And it's Chaos Pit. Normally a relatively fast one, but this Chaos Pit doesn't feel that chaotic. It almost feels like they're playing it on like Giant. Chaos Pit should always be played on like 3-player. You know, like 2 or 3, like smaller. Like there's so much distance. They've got so much space. It's not claustrophobic. Not claustrophobic at all. Fair few military pickoffs there. Scout fight, I thought went in favour of yellow, but actually maybe not. It's close. Spears doing good work. It's a bit of back and forth. But with the reinforcements for MacDeck, I think it does just about come out on top. Fletching on the way in for Mark Landers. And it's an everybody loses everything kind of set. No. I can't defend. Okay, well, we're starting to do a little bit of walling at home for MacDeck. And some big walling at home for Mark Landers. And Vil's bravely coming forward to try and get the berries. There's berries to the left that would have been safer to take, but no, we're going to come forward and try and take the berries right in front of our opponent when we don't necessarily have... We haven't necessarily won the scout fight, so this is a tad risky, but they send some Vils to join in with the fight. Vils can do well against skirms and spears. That's what they say about Novak. Novak is ballsy. Will that ballsy play out? I am not necessarily convinced, and I think Novak realises that that ballsy might not have played out. That should be guaranteed 2 dead Vils at the very least. Military went down in defence. I feel bad. Immediately punished for what was probably, some might say, a mistake. That should have been a dead Vil as well. However, this should be, right now, a chop through. We are done. We're through. The wood line, it's open. We are out. We can go and find some gold. We can make our way up. Not quite through for blue, but we should be through soon for red. And how close are we for yellow? Not close at all, because we're going through the diagonal. Type in exclamation mark players. Pretty much everybody here is 1600 except one of them. I can't remember if that's MacDeck. No, it's Novak. It's Novak who is 1500. Well, yeah, 1500-ish. And also gets some dive in on the wood line that delays that as well. That's more Vils down. Oh dear, 21 Vils now. That's the Chaos Pit that we know and love. Bit of pressure over onto yellow. Bear gets spotted. We're going to have to wall this up. Now, one of the important things to do when you manage to get through into the outside is that you very much want to go and find like a side and to wall it off pretty darn quickly, especially if you can guarantee that your opponent hasn't chopped through. Now, we know blue hasn't chopped through because we just spotted it. Now, our ally has come over and we've seen that they've not necessarily gone through, but they have chopped through. Donjon being focused, spears being produced. I hate that Donjons can make spears. Over on the other side, Danny Cherry dives in on MacDeck though. And the spears and skirms are being a nuisance to Danny. We didn't realise that you forgot the power of the spears is not a tower. It's a donjon. And one spear has popped out and shredded all of the scouts. Aye. Feels bad. Feels bad. We weren't looking. One scout survives. Scouts of green can maybe do some damage. It's going to take a little bit of bounce back though. Novak's so far behind on Vil count. Like so far. Here's 2 Vils. Now, are these 2 Vils coming forward to wall? Or are the Vils going to come forward and try and stop blue from getting out? Now, I hope that they're just walling. They don't have enough time to stop blue getting out. We're not we're not fast enough on that. Green hasn't done anything to deal with the fact that we're out. Pull 1 Vil back, sends 1 Vil forward. And we're out. That is everybody out, except, again, yellow, who is diagonal, and but we'll be out soon. Finally. Kind of feels like I expected them to be better at Chaos Pit. I mean, I'm not saying that they're doing bad, but like the fact that they're not reacting at all to the fact that they've chopped through is maybe a little concerning. I know they're full focused on their feudal aggression. Mark Landers, being the person that chops through, is on the way to Castlage. The Vils just went forward and then came home. Just went forward and came home. And didn't, and not walling off. I would really love a wall off. I would really, really love a wall off. Kind of some unnecessary vulnerabilities there. Now, can we hop from the one house into the next house? There we do. Just Khmer things. House hopping. Still, yellow playing defence. Green trying to pick off a few vills, and there are a few, well, maybe one. No, not quite enough. And then we dive into the scouts of yellow, and it's an army clear up. Still being pressured over on this left-hand side. Still being pressured and losing army over on this right-hand side. Scouts will kill a house, but we are finally through. We're through, we're taking gold. We're through, we're taking gold. Blue is through and taking gold. Everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody's stable and happy, and thank you for my pasta. Should be taking foxes. Yeah, well, they've got 35 gold. That's free gold. Crossbow, Bodkin, on the way in for red. Second TC. TC on the wood line. Wonder why TC here. Is that because we're just going to grab the foxes and the hunt? Are we prioritizing wood line? This is interesting to me. Just a wood TC. Wooden hunt? Wooden hunt. Okay, fair enough. Still, sergeants now being made. Castle Age on the way in. Sergeants, obviously, plenty of, well, 2 pierce armor at the moment. But they get more and more threatening as we go further into the game. Sergeants are such a toxic unit. Crossbows not in enough numbers to be a major threat right now. Danny still producing scouts, but the scout numbers are completely bollock even. That's an official term. That definitely even. Crossbows are enough to deal with the sergeants. Immediately you hit Castle Age, they get an extra pierce armor. But it's not enough against sizable numbers of crossbows when there's low numbers. It's still looking pretty good for the GdR boys. It would look even better for them if they were walling off the outside, and it really probably needs to be stone walls as well. And it would be nice if, now that we've secured this much of the middle, if the scouts, now that we've chopped through, made their way round to the outside. Aggressive castle. But is it in the most important place? I guess you got to support it. Defensive castle and donjons in place for Danny. More vills heading over and grabbing gold. Well, we spot it. There's no way of denying it, no, though, not with the amount of army. 36 military to 10. Tends to do that. Forging on the way in for MacDeck. Gotta make those scout cavalry. I'm assuming we get the light cav upgrade immediately. Yes, we do. And we pull the army back. We are leaving that castle undefended, and they see the castle age and go, there's nothing more that we can do. And I don't think they're wrong. I think the position's really rough for them. So yeah, great Chaos Pit out of the GdR boys. Now, I know we did a winner's interview for the last one, but it is 11 o'clock my time, and I have a whole bowl of food to eat. So as much as I would love to do a winner's interview, I cannot. I've got to go eat. This has been great. It's been a lovely opening set. Hypnos, just send the raid on where you'd like to send the raid on. I don't have Twitch open properly, or any of my buttons. So enjoy. You know, we're going to this small streamer called Memb. So shout out Memb. Look after him one time. And it's been a hoot. So catch you all the next time. This pub is closed.
When you gotta go home, the evening has come to an end. We've had fun together and drank hell for leather, and everyone here is a friend. ways. It's time for you homeward to go. I know this is the life